You know if you saw the material, if you look at it, there's a way I know if you don't look at it. Now, we said that sewage is wastewater. And I think along the line, I mentioned that I was defining sewage in different ways. Even me, I didn't see that definition I didn't see it in any book. Sewage is wastewater from home, from this, from that. A noun is the name of any person, animal, place, or that's primary school. Are we? Then in secondary school, university. What's a noun? What? Name of anything. Name of
anything. It's a naming word.
It's a living word.
Naming word.
It's the name of anything now. Anything that has a name, that's a noun. The same thing, sewage. Sewage is wastewater from this, from that, from that. It's like primary school saying that sewage is wastewater from anywhere. So we cannot finish all the places where the sewage are. That does not now mean that if you are asked in an exam, define sewage, you can't say sewage is wastewater from anywhere. I will take it. But you follow up and break it down. Because this is a standard class. This is not 100 level. So, determinants of the strength of sewage. I even gave different examples to show the importance. I gave you the second material where it was listed. I listed those things I was talking about on the board. This same board. No, you have changed the board. It's not this board. That board does not have edges like this. So they changed it. Water consumption per head. Per what? Yeah? Per head per day. And somebody is saying water consumption and then something. Water consumption per head per day will determine the strength of the sewage. And I said in the tropics, is sewage strong or weak in the tropics? Strong. What about in the temperate areas? It's weak. And I gave examples. I had a brother who traveled outside the country to the advanced country, and when he came back, he told us, in this place we have buckets, we have keg. He said, no bucket, no keg. He said, even the one bucket that was inside where they were bathing, he never used to take his bath. There's no time he opened the shower opens. Where the tap is, where they are pumping the water from, he doesn't know. That should not be, that's not supposed to be your business, but here it's everybody's business. If you don't pump the water, then the water does not get up here. And then you get water to use in your home. Water corporation is not working. NEPA too, in the hostel, they now bought prepaid. So because of that, the hostel people, I was passing through that place on Sunday, near that security post, I saw the students fetching water from one building in the yards that works. Fetching water from that one building, they are building there, and I was not looking, where are they fetching it to? They are fetching it to their hostel. And I saw some other people coming out with bucket and fetching water back. Because of the prepaid issue on campus now, many hostels, they now ration the power supply. So all these are some of the issues that are here. Now, sewage can also come from, we have waste from toilets and other places. And now we're going to talk about BOD. BOD. Why is it that it's at 5 days? 5 days. BOD 5. Why is it BOD 5? Why not BOD 10? Why not BOD 20? Why not BOD 30? That is in blue. That is in blue. Yeah.
Degradation with use that someone who said
Is it this one that they sent to you?
yeah.
This is
Why do you now BOD 5 as standard? Is that not standard? BOD 5 is standard. Why? What? Of domestic sewage. The see what? 70% of domestic sewage satisfied. The sea of domestic sewage. The day of domestic sewage. Your friends that are telling you that they didn't tell you everything. Your friends that are telling you didn't tell you everything. We're talking about BOD. In 5 days, 70 to 80% of oxygen demand of the organic matter in the waste is satisfied. It's like you're having a draft. Like you have a draft, something like that, and then the draft is going like that. And this is the fire. This is the oxygen in the fire. So this is the fire. You can see the way the graph is going. It's growing. Then after the fire, the graph does that. Does this part make sense to you? It doesn't. As much as this part. So by day 5, we have 70% to 80% of the BOD have been satisfied. So you can see it's a straight line. That's the exponential phase. So after that, anything is happening. Oxygen is still being taken off, but not at a rate that is proportional rate. So since at 5 days, this is a research that people have done over the years. At 5 days, 70 to 80% of the oxygen have been satisfied. Then they stop it there. They take that as the standard for the biological oxygen demand. But in the case of, you can go on to BOD 10, BOD 20, but you'll be having wobbling. They are not standards. So let's leave that and move to. Then we also have chemical oxygen demand. Then we have nitrogenous oxygen demand. Then we have theoretical oxygen demand. Then we have carbonaceous oxygen demand. So I'm saying them, go and check them. You are going to be asked. You understand? So that's why I don't show students any. In the class, I'll tell you what the question is that are going to come out. And that started while I was in GSS 2. My integrated science teacher came to class and taught us skeletal systems. And he told us, Ace, please move back. He taught us skeletal system and he told us, this diagram of the skeleton, I was going to ask to draw it in the exam. He told us, he told the class. He said he asked us to draw the diagram of the skeletal system in the exam. He told us, which kind of expo do you want more than that? So, I did not even believe I can even draw it, but I went on this simple massive research, so I was practicing. There's no diagram. There's no diagram. There is no diagram. It's just a matter of practice. I will get it, and anybody also can get it. And I practiced it over and over and over many times. The back of the calendar those days, old calendar, the back is usually plain white. So I will fold it and do all my jottings, and I'll practice and label it. And the day of the exam, he set it. And I also put it down. That was GSS 2. So, now we come to theoretical oxygen demand. Theoretical oxygen demand is calculated. You have, okay, this particular waste, this particular compound, then it needs oxygen. You understand? This particular is a chemical equation you write, this particular compound needs oxygen to become carbon dioxide and water. Then you balance the equation, and they will give you amount of the chemical compound of the glucose or the other. They give you the weight that is going to be used. So when you balance the equation, you just use the weight and then you equate it with the oxygen that you need. So 1 mole of oxygen is equivalent, mole of oxygen in that equation equivalent to mole of this, of the compound. So the weight of the compound is given, then you can calculate the amount of oxygen that we will use. But we also say that it is theoretical. It is in theory. Normally in this class, you are like 280 something or 70 something. But how many people are in the class now? Theoretically, it's 270 something. But in the actual sense, you are less than that. You get it now? So that's why we say that theoretical is theoretical. And that's why some of the questions I asked, they give as assignment yesterday, is trying to see if you can look at it. It can be used and it cannot be used. It can be used. The theory of 278 can be used in setting your exam question, preparing your practicals. But you cannot now use it to determine the number of students that will be in the class. You get it now? It's theoretical. It's useful and it can also be misleading. That's the theoretical in the market. So by calculation, you can say you need so amount of oxygen, but in reality, you may need more or less. So we spoke about a lot of things in that material. Let's talk about industrial waste now. Industrial waste. Industrial waste. You promise to be quiet and don't disturb when you go inside? You promise you're not going to talk? Wait. People you are going to meet is like they are talking to you. Now go and sit down. Let's go to the back. Don't come and meet me. Industrial waste. Industrial waste. A special characteristic A special characteristic. Go and sit down now. A special characteristic they will hear, please, please don't. A special characteristics of industrial waste. A special characteristics of industrial waste. If you don't want to say industrial waste, industrial what? Industrial sewage, thank you. A special characteristic of industrial waste or sewage is the proportion of those compounds, of those components, is the proportion of those components which can hinder the process of self-purification. Is the proportion of those compounds, of those components which can hinder the process of self-purification. Do you know what self-purification of water means? I think Professor Sewage should have told you that. Have you? One of us have told you about self-purification. Yellow cloth. What does self-purification of water mean? In water. Yes. Let's say we have as a dam or the dam on the university, the river there. So how can the water self-purify? And everybody in the campus is dumping the internal water. So how can the water self-purify? Only during rainfall. What about in dry season? So the water will not purify, so during dry season. Class rep, Can you answer the question? We are dumping waste in the river on the campus. That's where everybody dump their waste. How will the water self-purify? She's saying during rainfall that water, so during rainfall, as the water is moving, I mean, to move all the waste. It's not moving into another place. Abi, during rainfall, to pack it from here and take it to Parapoli side. There's the same river that goes to Parapoli, that bridge. So it will move it from here. Since it's a rainfall, it will move it from here and move it to Parapoli side. Please go to the back. So to move it from here and move it to Parapoli side. So class rep, how will the water self-purify? Anybody that can tell us how? You can see that if you don't understand that concept, now this one I'm mentioning now, you are supposed to understand, so just flow through. So it will be, if you don't be compounding all of them like that. All right, let's go. These components which are grouped, according to their negative effects include these components which are grouped according to their negative effects include, number 1, toxic substances, which can cause acute or chronic poison of water organisms. Which can cause acute or chronic poison of water organisms. That man there, open the door or now the camera.
Acute or chronic poison of water organisms.
Open the prison door. So that anywhere I want to enter, I will follow that place. I will not be following this place. Toxic substances which can cause acute or chronic poison of water organisms. Number 2, interfering substances that cause undesirable odor. Interfering substances that cause undesirable odor, taste, turbidity, as well as technical problems with processing, distribution and use. As well as technical problems with processing, distribution and use. The next one, number 3, is degradable substances. Degradable substances, e.g., organic substances, ammonium ion, sulfate ion, etc., which reduce the oxygen content, of receiving water. Number 4, nutrients that cause eutrophication. Nutrients that cause eutrophication. Nutrients that cause eutrophication. Of steel or slow moving water, that cause eutrophication of steel or slow moving water, that cause generally the damage caused by industrial waste to the primary source of water. Generally, the damage caused by industrial waste to the primary source of water affects all further usage especially drinking. Or further usage, especially drinking water supplies, fisheries, agriculture, and cattle breeding. And cattle breeding. And cattle breeding. Microflora of sewage. Microflora of sewage. In many instances, sewage has a characteristic flora. In many instances, sewage has a characteristic flora, especially domestic sewage, which is particularly rich in bacteria. Because it contains largely of what? Why is domestic sewage largely rich in bacteria? Because it contains largely of what? Of what? Of feces. It contains largely of feces. Domestic sewage contains largely of feces. The main component that is of interest to us in domestic sewage is the feces. Kitchen waste has its own. Bathroom, bathing water has its own. But the fecal matter is the most important. You understand? The fecal matter is the most important to us as microbiologists. Rich in bacteria because it contains largely of feces. Wastewater and remains of food. Feces, wastewater and remains of food. And urban sewage consists mainly of nitrifying bacteria. And urban sewage consists mainly of nitrifying bacteria. E.g. Proteus vulgaris, Bacillus subtilis, Bacillus cereus, etc. Stop. Representative of various physiological groups. Representatives of various physiological groups, including representatives of various physiological groups, including sugar, fat, urea, and cellulose decomposers, are also found. Representatives of various physiological groups, including sugar, fat, urea, and cellulose decomposers, are also found in what? In sewage. The relative proportion of coliforms is also large. The relative proportion of coliforms is also large. The relative proportion of coliforms is also large. Full stop. Sewage rich in organic matter is predominated by Stereotilus natans. Sewage rich in organic matter is predominated by Tertiary natans, which is wrongly referred to as sewage fungi.
Sewage from them.
It is a typical sewage organism that the typical sewage organism that occur often, so that is found often at the bottom of polluted water. Its development is favored. Its development is favored by temperature 5 to 20 degrees Celsius. By temperature 5 to 20 degrees Celsius, pH 6 to 9,
20 degrees.
and a good oxygen supply. Its development often leads to a critical situation in stagnant water with the depletion of oxygen. Full stop. Masses of it die. Masses of it die. MASSES, masses of Serotulus natans die to undergo putrefaction.
I don't want to
To undergo putrefaction, releasing H2S with the aid of desulfurizing bacteria. With the aid of desulfurizing bacteria. And finally, we can spell that. With the aid of desulfurizing bacteria. Desulfovibrio, desulfuricans. That is the desulfurizing bacteria. Desulfovibrio, desulfuricans. I was telling the biology student that microbiology is very simple. You can see they say desulfurizing bacteria. You now say the name again is desulfovibrio, desulfuricans. Is it not simple? The same thing, nitrogen. Example, nitrifying bacteria, nitrogen fixation. You know, they just follow the same thing.
This
Full stop. Sulfur oxidizing bacteria like Bacillus. Sulfur oxidizing bacteria like Bacillus. Sulfur oxidizing bacteria like Bacillus also rapidly multiply. Sulfur oxidizing bacteria like Bacillus also rapidly multiply when hydrogen sulfide is produced. Full stop. Denitrifying bacteria, denitrifiers like Bacillus. Denitrifiers like Bacillus and methane producers. Denitrifiers like Bacillus and methane producers, including ion bacteria, are also present. Full stop. Numerous fungi are also present in organic sewage. Numerous fungi are also present in organic sewage, and some, like the genera Saprolegmia, saprolegnia. And leptometos. And in general, saprolegnia and leptometos are in the strict sense. Are in the strict sense. In the strict sense. Are in the strict sense. Are in the strict sense. Referred to as sewage fungi. In the strict sense, referred to as sewage fungi. Let's go now to sewage treatment. Sewage treatment. You've spoken about water treatment before, have you? Who taught you that, Professor? What? That's water you treated. Is to make it to become what? Why do you treat that water? Make it potable. Why are you going to be treating sewage? Potable is a musician, have you? Which other musician now do you now call? Chrysane will treat it so that you can become Chrysane. Because you treated the other water because of potable. So we treat this sewage because of what?
Sewage.
No, it's not because of Chrysane. You treat the water that is not containing sewage to make it drinkable, potable. P-O-T-A. But why then are you treating sewage? Is it also to make it potable? No. Because of the BOD, you are treating sewage to do what? To reduce the BOD so that you can pour it away into the river, into the environment. You get the gist now. You are treating sewage so that the environmental pollution, so that you will not be having foul odor everywhere. That is why you are treating sewage. Because anywhere you are pouring the sewage to, in the water or on land, on the soil, there are organisms, there's bacteria, there's fungi, there are different organisms, there's plant and animal. If you don't treat the sewage, those organisms are gone. And we don't want those organisms to disappear. Because if they disappear, it will affect the chain of organisms. And it will affect the ecosystem. So to limit the damage to the environment, that's how you treat sewage. So the water you treat from the sewage, you want to dispose it into the environment. You get it now. So don't mix the two up. Another reason why you treat sewage is, look at it this way. This same sewage that you do not treat, it goes to the environment, it goes to the water body, it goes to the river. Like that lady was saying that time. If you can't get a seat, go outside and sit in the pavilion, please. Because the pavilion, there are seats there. You came late, number one. Number two, you can't get a seat, so that's two. So please, find your way to the pavilion. And you are giving them seats, you to join them in the pavilion. Please, if there's a seat, give them. If you can't get the seats, yes, 3 seats in the pavilion. Come and take a chair here now. So if you have to stop, please, those people coming, they should stay outside. Yes, please stay outside.
Do you get it? No. This
It is desirable to treat raw sewage. It is desirable to treat raw sewage before it is discharged into receiving water because of the following reasons. It is desirable to treat raw sewage before it is discharged into receiving water because of the following reasons. Number one, raw sewage could render receiving water into a vector of diseases. Raw sewage could render receiving water into a vector of diseases, thereby ruining it for drinking and recreation. Thereby ruining it, R-U-I-N-I-N-G, ruining it for drinking and recreation. Number two, oxygen and other hydrogen acceptors are used up by sewage organisms. Oxygen and other hydrogen receptors oxygen and other hydrogen acceptors are used up by sewage microorganisms. Sorry, acceptors is what I have. Number three,
Are used
by sewage microorganisms. Number three, anaerobiosis. Number three, anaerobiosis. That boy with that blue cap, please.
Okay, Victor.
We're just talking about oxygen and the other hydrogen acceptors. What can they do? They can render the receiving water. They are used up by sewage microorganisms. Number three, anaerobiosis may develop, leading to generation of foul smell. So when there's an anaerobic situation in the environment, it will generate foul smell. And nuisance, leading to generation of foul smell and nuisance. We were talking, the girl was brown water in the quarters about 3 weeks ago, and that's how it has been coming. Even sometimes I go to eat in that place, I see the water coming with brown. So one guy spoke about it in the quarters. So people now came after him. So I now came to bail him out as a water microbiologist. I bailed him out with technical details about the water. That the water is brown does not mean it contains pathogen. I think Dr. Tomilayo should tell you that when you come to water pollution. The water can be brown in color. It doesn't mean you test it. Your interest as microbiologist is what the bacteria. Is that not? If the water is colored brown, but there is no pathogen inside, it's just the color problem due to any factor. And by chance, I've taken the water that is supplied most times, and the one from the bottle, I've tested it for Escherichia coli. And by the time I tested it, it did not contain Escherichia coli. So I told them that one. I didn't tell them that. I told them that one too. So I tell them I've tested the water. It's bacteriologically good. That is the term. It's bacteriologically good. And I said, what you need to do is to add alum at the water treatment plant. Add alum and let it sediment before you pour it out, before you send it to us. And it's like the message went to the right places, and since then, the water now is clean. So that's what we're talking about here, that anaerobiosis may develop, leading to generation of foul smell and nuisance. That colored water is a nuisance. It will not cause disease. But it's a nuisance. You got this from your house, you just bring the water, it's not Bonvita. You now say, Bonvita, you just drink it, Omi náà ni kò sí pathogen there, kò sí pathogen people ẹ wá kó mi o. You understand? It constitutes nuisance, even though it will not cause disease. Under that water part, which Tomola will teach you, which I used to teach before, Tomola will teach you this time. We talk about odor turbidity. The water is turbid. It's turbidity that makes it to be colorless. You understand? It's turbidity. There's nobody who likes to drink colored water, even if it's the cheapest. Bottled water now is how much? 200, 250, are we? Then you now go to the walkway, block 2 or block 3. They said the woman is selling bottled water for 50 bucks, 50 naira. The only thing that is the color is blue. The only thing that the color is blue, you get there is blue inside the container. Blue. Everybody will be crazy. It's 50 naira, go and take this 4. The one you buy in that one, that is 1. Come and take 4 or 5 years. Go, everybody will be crazy. Colored water, people don't want to take it. It's nuisance. Because the property of water is what? Colorless, odorless, tasteless. You get it now? So let's go leave that. So, a nuisance. The growth of aquatic life becomes impossible. Number 4, the growth of aquatic life becomes impossible, leading generally to an economic loss. The growth of aquatic life becomes impossible. Aquatic life, ayé àwọn organisms tó wà ní aquatic life, like fishes and other things. If you pollute the water, fish will be affected. You will not get fishes in that place. That is part of the reason why there's problem in Niger Delta those days. But the problem have reduced now.
That place is the
Problem of Niger Delta have reduced. That time used to fight that they are polluting the environment with petroleum. And then they cannot farm, they cannot fish. They have river, they can't fish in the river. Because the crude oil and the oil they have keep all the fishes. But now that is not the problem of the nation. The problem of the nation is another one. And when we solve that one again, another one will come up.
Possible.
Just like matter. Matter cannot be destroyed. It can only be changed from one form to another form. So if they solve this one, another one is created. So now everybody is with their cutlass and everything. As I'm looking now, we're looking here and there. Abi? Now, sighting. We're talking about economic loss. Leading to an economic loss. That's why I went and talked about fish. That's economic loss. Sighting of we're talking about sewage treatment. So how do you cite the sewage treatment plant? Siting. S-I-T-I-N-G. Sewerage network. Sewerage. Sewerage network are normally designed so that flow of sewage is gravitational. Sewerage network is really designed so that flow of sewage is gravitational. So if this is the sewerage network, it's a network of pipes. So the design is not the way that it's coming down.
Citing
The sewage treatment plant.
Design in such a way is usually gravitational. Every pipe anywhere is
Treatment plant, I
gravitational.
think.
Even pumping water, gravitational. Leaching waste, it goes out by gravity. If it's going to be climbing, what kind of network is that one? So you can see this is why somebody was asking in engineering, this is why the engineers need the microbiologists. You want to design sewerage network, you want to have a complex, And you don't carry the people that know about all you, upon everybody. So as you are designing your sewage network, not what will tell you. That will be gravitational. If it's like this, and waste come out from the home or from a community, and you have to climb up to another place, it will be going back. So it has to be gravitational. Sewage networks are normally designed so that flow of sewage is gravitational, so as to minimize cost and maintenance. So as to minimize cost and maintenance. Please, let's pay attention. So as to minimize cost and maintenance. The location depends on the following principles. The location depends on the following principles. The location depends on the following principles. Number one, pumping should be avoided. Pumping should be avoided. You are talking about sewage, and then you are pumping the sewage. So pumping should be avoided. It should be gravitational. Because if there is pumping, what will happen? More stench. You are going to have more stench. Number two, appreciable distance from the plant to the nearest dwelling house. Appreciable distance from the plant to the nearest dwelling house.
To the nearest
Dwelling house.
To avert odor nuisance. To avert odor nuisance. You see, the odor thing is not going to cause disease to you. There's a nuisance. You get it now. You get the gist. As microbiologists, your interest is on bacteria. But here now, there's odor from the odor is not going to cause disease, but it's going to cause nuisance. Then number three, free from flooding. The sewage network should be free from flooding. If it is not free from flooding, that means what? It can get flooded and carried away. So you are not going to be in control. You will not be in control of it again because you are trying to collect sewage for treatment, and then there's flooding in the place. Then the flood helps you to carry it. Without you treating it, it takes it away. Number four, adequate land for future expansion. Adequate land for future expansion is also important. So you don't make it, it small. Have adequate land for future expansion. Number five, topography. Number six, soil formation. A sewage network is a physical arrangement of pipes. A sewage network is a physical arrangement of pipes and plants for the collection, removal, treatment, and disposal of liquid waste. These are the students that are receiving the lecture. Obviously, I talk to myself.
Plants and pipes for the collection, treatment. Is it pipes?
A sewage network, a sewerage is a physical arrangement of pipes and plants for the collection, removal, treatment,
Same thing.
and disposal of liquid waste.
Sir?
And disposal of liquid waste.
And bottom of plant. Is it plant?
The choice of method,
Plant and fish.
paragraph, the choice of method for treatment of sewage is determined, the choice of method for treatment of sewage is determined by, number one, conditions peculiar. Number one, conditions peculiar to the character of the sewage. Conditions peculiar to the character of the sewage. So the method they're going to use to treat the sewage is determined by the condition peculiar to that sewage. You cannot use the same method for who is talking at the back now. Where I'm from. All of the time, so go out. Go out, go out.
No go there yet.
I've been treating those people since by now. Abi? By now everybody will be at attention. So I said the choice of method for the treatment of sewage determined by one, conditions peculiar to the character of the sewage. Because there are different methods of treating sewage. So the condition peculiar to the character of the sewage, the source of the sewage, determine the treatment you are going to give it. Number two, circumstances pertaining to the body of receiving water. Circumstances pertaining to the body of receiving water. Circumstances pertaining to the body of receiving water. Number one is the source. Number two is where the waste is going to be disposed. Number three, cost of the plant. Number four is the requirement of the public health authority. Number four is the requirement of the public health authority. Number four is the requirement of the public health authority. However, in general terms, sewage treatment is a combination of physical and biochemical processes. Sewage treatment is a combination of physical and biochemical processes. Some people assume that when you talk about microbiology, that anytime you just come, any like that water that I said we check now, and I'm talking about alum. Alum is chemical. Alum treatment. It will allow the water to sediment before it goes to the people. So they'll be looking at, but this guy is a microbiology. Why are you talking about a chemical? You're talking about chlorine. You're talking about the piping, talking about topography, talking about gravity. They will be expecting you just talk about microscope and microorganisms. But if the right things are done, it will it will affect the microbes. You understand? You get that? It's just like sanitation. I was teaching some students that take general microbiology and food engineering. Why are you learning about microbiology? Or why would they employ a food engineer or a microbiologist in a food industry like Chicken Republic? One of my course mates will be the general or supervisor at Mr. Biggs in Ilorin those days. Mr. Biggs is gone now. So he used to be supervisor. So what does he need to do there? There's no lab in Mr. Biggs. You don't have microbiology lab. But as a microbiologist, you know that you can't just touch surfaces and then go and eat food. Or you now you want to give a customer meat pie. You now take it with your hand. You start taking it, you're also talking into the meat pie. Microbiologists know that contaminants can take place. That is the training. So when you now find yourself in that kind of place, easily the person fits in. So there's no lab here. Instead of using ordinary hands, you use gloves. Then after using gloves, you use some tongs or something to pick the meat pie into the liner. Then they use mask to cover the nose and the mouth so that they will not breathe into the food. At the same time, they will not talk into the food. You get it now? So let's go on. The physical processes include screening, combination, screening, combination, removal of grits or grit removal. Removal of grits and organic suspended solids by sedimentation. Removal of grits and organic suspended solids by sedimentation. So that is the physical processes. The biological processes include the agency of bacteria and algae.
Biochemical.
The biological processes include the agency of bacteria and algae, and they constitute the most important aspect of the treatment. The removal of the bacteria and microorganisms that are pathogenic constitute the most important aspect of the treatment. Like I said before, there are villages that up till now, they still take colored water, turbid water, but they are not falling ill. But they have the capacity to fall ill because nobody is testing the water, whether it contains coliform or E. coli or not. And they constitute the most important aspect of the treatment. Chemical processes are not in common use except chlorination. Chemical processes are not in common use except chlorination. Paragraph. In general, or generally, sewage treatment practices may be classified into 3 categories.
In general, sewage
Treatment will be classified into 3 categories. Open the door. Into 3 categories. Number 1, yes, sir. Primary or physical treatment. Number 1, primary or physical treatment. Number 2, secondary or biological treatment. secondary or biological treatment, or biofiltration or activated sludge. Secondary or biological treatment, there are secondary treatment, that is biological treatment or biofiltration or activated sludge. You know, the moment they say biofiltration, you know it's microorganisms. When they say activated sludge, activated, you're activating the sludge. The sludge is active. So you should know that it's a biological process. And the purpose of activated treatment, activated sludge is what? Activated sludge is to what? To cause aeration. It's to bring about aeration. The activated treatment is just like you have water that is polluted. Instead of it leaving it to be stagnant, let it be jumping up and down like this. Oxygen will be getting to the water. As the water is being thrown up and landing, oxygen will be interacting with oxygen. You know, we are talking about pure reactant in such a way that with time, the oxygen required for it before disposal will now become less. Then in the process of that activated sludge, you are throwing it up and down, and you are hitting it against a wall. You design a particular machine, you'll be hitting the water against a wall, and to be getting back, to be hitting against the wall, pick from the top, pick against the wall with the machine. That wall, the water is heated against, what is going to be happening to the wall? Microorganisms from the air and from everywhere will be plastered on the wall. And as the sewage is being lambasted on the microorganisms, oxygen is introduced, the sewage is in contact with microorganisms, and then treatment is taking place biologically. After a time, even that wall will be coated with microorganisms. This provides some means of satisfying the BOD. Continuation.
It's three.
Which three? We said three. The guy said three?
Yes.
Me, I said three.
Yes.
I said secondary treatment, biological treatment, or biofiltration or activated sludge. And I was explaining the activated sludge. Full stop. This provides some means of satisfying the BOD. That's what I just explained. If I say this word, that means you will look at how will you then satisfy the BOD. I've explained that. Aeration. When they say activated sludge, it's aeration. And now that when I come to the class, I say we should open the windows. You get it now? When I wake up in the morning, I open the windows. Because over the night, fomites, organisms around your beddings, they are there. So you open the window so that UV light can kill some of the bacteria naturally. Number 3, sludge treatment. Number 3 is tertiary treatment. Tertiary treatment. Yes, sludge treatment. Tertiary treatment or sludge treatment, which constitute anaerobic digestion. Anaerobic digestion. Some of these times we'll be asking questions, asking students questions. We'll be answering as if they didn't attend the lecture, they didn't know anything, they didn't even read. Simple question like this in the exam, students will not be looking at, hey, actually they don't have to do. Simple question. Sludge treatment, that is tertiary treatment, which constitutes anaerobic digestion of sludge produced in the earlier stage. What is the earlier stage? In the earlier stage, chlorination of liquid effluents. Chlorination of liquid effluents. Another word for liquid effluent is what? Sewage, wastewater. You get it now. You get it now. Liquid effluent, sewage, wastewater. Those days they use the word liquid effluent, effluent from different places. Then later, we now came to sewage. But they did not link it together. You get it now? You didn't link it together. The sewage is wastewater. The liquid effluent is still wastewater. Which constitute anaerobic digestion of sludge produced in the earlier stage, chlorination of liquid effluent, and disposal of remaining solids are effected. And disposal of remaining solids are effected. And disposal of remaining solids are effected. So people will be asking now, what can microbiology do? What is the business of microbiology can do? Plenty. Like in this one now, we go into sewage treatment, sewage collection, and treatment. Inside that sewage again, after treating it, what remains is fertilizer. You get it now? You go into sewage collection and sewage treatment. After treating the sewage, what remains is fertilizer. And some people here are going to become farmers, big time farmers. That will feed the whole of Kwara State. Then you sell fertilizer to them. That's why you are in the same class. If you are producing fertilizer, are you not going to buy from your classmates? You are a farmer, big time farmer, and you need like 1,000 bags of fertilizer per day. And your classmate is producing fertilizer. Where are you going to buy from? So that is the essence of coming to school. All these things you can stay at home and get and learn them on your own. So you come to school to connect. And that's why you should have a business. So that your friends can patronize you. If you don't have a business, then how would you buy? How would you just be looking for a job? All right. Please take the board. These three stages are preceded by the preliminary treatment. These three stages are preceded by the preliminary treatment. What's it by the time now? Still have time. These three stages are preceded by the preliminary treatment, which comprises of screening and grit removal. Okay, thank you. Let's see if I can see how to draw.
Grit remover. You have said it before.
What that right?
Thank you.
Okay. What is one?
Primary is that one. The sediment.
That is the condition. The primary treatment is sedimentation. The sedimentation is as many of that essence.
Segmentation. Then the one for me is primary sedimentation.
Not like that. No, because we the not Professor Fabia was one of the trainers.
Yeah. Yeah, it was one.
Oh, Lily.
That's why I wanted to wait to.
Do you even stay at space? I know that one is space. Raw sewage. Sewage treatment. Say storage. Okay, sludge. Ah.
Let's continue, please. This will sit on the board after. I've said this before, but I'll start it. These three stages are preceded by the preliminary treatment, which comprises of screening and grit removal. So in that preliminary treatment, you can write here screening and grit removal. It involves the removal of large floating objects. It involves the removal of large. Let me take it again. These three stages are preceded by the preliminary treatment, which comprises of screening and grit removal. It involves the removal of large floating objects. It involves the removal of large floating objects. It involves the removal of large floating objects. E.g. rags. E.g. rags.
Rats.
R-A-G-S. Wood, sand, stone, etc. These are the normal things that you find in sewage now. All the rags you use in your house, you throw it inside the sewage. Stone, throw it inside the sewage. Wood, you find it in the sewage, and many other things. Nylon, you find them in the sewage. The grit, which has a higher relative density than organic sewage solid. The grit, which has a higher relative density than organic sewage solid, and hence settles faster. And hence settles faster. And hence settles faster. The purpose of preliminary sewage treatment. The purpose of preliminary sewage treatment is to protect from damage. Is to protect from damage the equipment used in the subsequent stages of treatment.
Stages of treatment.
full stop. Screenings are objectionable in appearance. Screenings are objectionable in appearance. Just like in court, when they say objection, my lord. So the objection can be sustained or what? Or what? Overruled. Thank you. I didn't know that you know we have legal people here. Screenings are objectionable in appearance and in content, and should therefore be disposed of immediately, either by burning or incineration. Either by burning or incineration. Class rep, which one is better? Is it burning or incineration? Stand up now.
Incineration.
Is it burning or incineration that is better?
Incineration.
So that the screenings are objectionable and then we should burn it. So is it burning that is better or incineration? What? Which one is better? Burn or incineration? Okay, I was looking for student level assistant class level. Maybe you should sit somewhere. Vice President, is it burning that is better or incineration? Is it burning that is better or incineration? But this one now is another topic. Global warming. You know, you didn't go there now. You didn't think. You're not thinking. You think fast. You get it now. It's not everything that we just say. It'll be like that. Just take it and be running. Then you leave the school, leave the university, and then go to the town, and then you collect everything and start burning it. If the environmental people hold you like this, then you find yourself in America, and then you are this, your job, then you now go and start burning it. Or in France or Canada or Australia or Germany. Your work is to collect the screening. Then you are in charge of disposal. Just take it to a place in front of the police station in Germany or America, and then start burning it. Because the lecturer said either you burn or you incinerate. So that I'm bringing it out now. You know, you see something, then you take it out, and then you address it. It's another ball game on its own. So it's better you incinerate. It is in where there's no incinerator, nothing else you can do, then you can burn. But if there are alternatives, especially in advanced countries, they will not allow you to burn because of global warming. But in developing countries too, we also signed all those treaties. We are party to it. So we are not supposed to burn. Let's go on now and talk about the next one. A communitor, continuation, a communitor is a self-cleansing. A communitor is a self-cleansing shredder. A communitor is a self-cleansing shredder, shredding machine. A communitor is a self-cleansing shredding machine that cuts off sewage. A communitor is a self-cleansing shredding machine that cuts off sewage. That cuts off sewage solids as they pass through a fine screen device. as they pass through a fine screen device. Let's look at primary treatment or sedimentation. Primary treatment or sedimentation. The gravitational separation of the sewage suspension into its component solids and liquid phase.
Okay.
Primary treatment or sedimentation, the gravitational separation of the sewage suspension into its component solids and liquid phase. Into its component solid and liquid phase. The gravitational separation of a sewage suspension into its component solid and liquid phase. The aim of this process is to produce high degrees of clarification. The aim of this process is to produce high degree of clarification. That is the liquid. That is the liquid. We want the liquid to be clear. To just be liquid. Remember that we remove all the others on it, then we shred it, then we move on. And thickening. Clarification, that's the liquid, and thickening. That is the solid. The former is removal of solid from liquid phase. The former is removal of solid. The former is removal of solid from liquid phase. And the latter is the opposite.
Okay.
It's 400 level, Abby. It's 100 level. Not second.
And the latter. And the latter.
And the latter is the opposite. Clarification is needed to reduce. Clarification is needed to reduce load on secondary treatment. Clarification is needed to reduce load on secondary treatment. And thickening is desirable so that sludge handling and treatment is minimized. And thickening is desirable so that sludge handling and treatment is minimized. Like I tell most students that, as Professor Sule taught you, if you have read what he taught you, the thing has stayed. I know that I came to teach you. If you read it very well, study it, you've gotten it. Study soon came to teach, to lecture. You take it, you read it, you've gotten it. The next person comes. When exam comes, you just revert. But Sule came, he didn't read it, just as he was leaving the class, he also closed the book and went to direct.
Primary treatment or sedimentation.
Professor Bobaka came and taught you everything. You didn't read it, you didn't study it, you didn't practice any question. We are going to do every kind of show. And this one also came and taught you. You didn't take it serious. You didn't do assignment. The assignment you did, you submitted. You didn't even read it. You gave the assignment, you submitted true. But you didn't read it. And not knowing that it's going to come out in the exam. Then you sit in the exam and you say, assignment of my LLA now. But you didn't read it, you didn't study it. You just submitted the assignment. Or you just copied from your friends. You submitted. But you didn't read it. Therefore, the Tomilano came again, taught you again. You just look at it, you file it, you didn't read it. Then, Mr. Shitu came, taught you again. You didn't read it. Then, they now said, text is on Monday. You now go and carry the book. Professor Sule, Akpabia, so you are not reading all those ones. And as you read, the day of the test is short. You could not finish everything. As you're reading, it now says treatment, water treatment, sewage treatment. What is the difference here? The aim of sewage treatment is to remove BOD, to reduce BOD. If I can ask a question on water treatment, you're not telling him about sewage treatment. Me to accept my own question on sewage treatment, you're writing about water treatment. So that's why this place is saying that the aim, clarification is needed to reduce load on secondary treatment, and thickness is desirable so that sludge handling and treatment is minimized. So that's why you're supposed to be reading ahead. You don't just wait and pack everything and put it in the secondary treatment. That's what you are saying the other time. Yes, the water is bacteriologically good, but it's stoppage. Sure, you get it now. The water is bacteriologically good, but it's stoppage. The water is not bacteriologically good, but it's colorless, odorless. So everything must be balanced. Secondary of biological treatment. Secondary or biological treatment. The fluid effluent from the sedimentation tank is called settled sewage. Everything I'm saying is clear. I can just use diagrams only because I don't like reading too much stories. If you can draw the diagram, it's an assumption, I'm just assuming. If you can draw the diagram and you get the diagram, then you can look at the diagram and write the story about the diagram. You can draw it down because this is everything that I'm saying is clear. The raw sewage from the home, you get the raw sewage in past grit and grit removal as changed. It's all the distance I see is shredded. That's why in companies, all these things you want to do, they are simple things. When it comes to waste treatment. So that if you can find yourself as a the person in charge of the company's waste treatment officer or whatever they call the name. So these are some of the simple things you just do. And you just turn the company around.
Wow.
You turn them around. As the waste is coming in the drainage inside the company, get a bag of charcoal that have been, or you have a seed like that. The seed will be along the way, so that any large particle will stop at that point. You get it now. So the effluent will pass. Then on the floor, before this, you have charcoal. Charcoal is going to absorb most of the organic matter. To absorb it. So all you need to do is, after maybe a month, they replace that charcoal bed. And you don't know and you don't want to pay us to tell them. So when you leave there, it comes to the primary sedimentation. That's where you do the primary treatment. After primary treatment, the settled sewage goes here. The sludge, the liquid will go here. The sludge that is heavy, that sediment, will go here. So sludge treatment is going to take place here. Sludge treatment is aerobic or anaerobic. Anaerobic, it's part of the trickling. So here, the activated sludge, that's the second treatment. This is microbiology. I said filtration. Various already told you that they are microorganisms. Activated sludge, you are throwing the water. Sometimes they call it trickling filter. It's the same thing, trickling filter. You do trickling and be rotating and circulating and be blowing the dumping and be landing the water. So trickling filter, trickling now is rotating. I have it in the material. The valve filtration, the same. Then it goes to the secondary sedimentation tank. The effluent, once it gets to this point, it's good to go. Then the sludge that didn't collect here, that didn't sediment here, the sediment here, is to come here. Then you treat the sludge, and then you dispose the sludge. They can dry the sludge and sell it as fertilizer. Secondary or biological treatment. The fluid effluent from the sedimentation tank is called the settled sewage, which is unstable and contains the fluid effluent from the sedimentation tank is called settled sewage. You can even see the fluid effluent from the sedimentation tank. It's still called sewage. That's why I was telling you that sewage, wastewater, effluent, they are the same thing. If you are the one that don't know, you are the one that is just taking. If you understand all these things, you will just be playing with the words. And the more you play with the words, the more marks you are going to get. When I'm marking, and the person is telling me that he's telling me that sewage is this, and he's using all those languages that are microbiological, then I know that this person will bet. Somebody was saying the other time that, what was this thing he said? Oh, sorry, he's talking about, what? Yeah? He's talking about red blood cells. No, he's talking about that one. He was explaining, what was he explaining? He said? Organic matter. Organic, even that one said, that was what I asked him to explain. Even what he said, I knew he was not saying the right thing. That was not, I'm not asking to explain. Now saying red blood cell, hemoglobin. You can imagine. In talking about the strength of sewage, we also talk about the diet, the type of diet. In tropics, we take more of what? Fermented food. Oyinbo does not take fermented food like that. So you to imagine now, you are taking fermented food. You are not taking fermented food. So the type of diet will determine the organic matter you are going to pass out in your feces. You're taking fermented food, taking iru. Iru itself, before you take it, you know how it smells. Then you consume it again. You force your intestine, you then you come out again. It will cease to smell. And it will contain organic matter. More organic matter. The process of producing Iru, you already know microorganisms are involved. So you also consume some of them. Then we talk about water consumption per person per day. That's why I said, how much water do you use per day? I asked that last year in the question. There's no direct answer. But when you tell me that you use 50 liters to bath, you drink, for the whole day, you drink only 1 liter. And you know something that are outrageous. It's not simple. You see it now. Then you say to take your bath, you use 2 liters. Which kind of bath is that one? So it's not anything that's just that question can get you can land it somewhere and get you a job. Somebody called my supervisor that time. He said he was in the IDP camp. He was one of our former students there. IDP camp at the copper, and they asked the person, go and estimate amount of water we are going to use. Because it's a camp, 5,000 people in the camp. Estimate the amount of water we will use. That's what I'm asking you to do. So that they want to buy water, so that they know the number of tankers they are going to get. Because they must agree on the money before they release the money and then they get the tanker. You can't just be bringing water anyhow like that. You get it? So when you are in the hostel, they say that the water is not enough. It's because there's no calculation. If you calculated that, okay, each person, you know what the average of what each person uses per day, you will not be having problem of no water in the hostels. You will know exactly the amount of water you are going to use per day, and the hostel owners will know what to do. So, I said the fluid effluent from the sedimentation tank is called settled sewage, which is unstable, and contains significant amount of suspended solids and high BOD, which must be reduced. This is which must be reduced. Are we there?
No. Significant amount.
of suspended solvent, which
Who has power pump?
Which one?
Bigger than the lecturer's power pump. It's bigger than the lecturer's power pump. Wow, 98. Yes. The fluid effluent on the sedimentation tank is called settled sewage, which is unstable and contains significant amount of suspended solids and high BOD, which must be reduced. Everything we're talking about, that's why you must understand BOD. Everything we're talking about is BOD removal or reduction. Is that not? It's about the reduction. So if you understand BOD properly, then everything we're saying, you get it. This is accomplished by exposing the liquid to a massive culture of microorganisms. This is accomplished by exposing the liquid to a massive culture of microorganisms in an aerobic environment. In an aerobic environment provided by trickling filter. Trickling filter. Trickling.
filter.
This is something it's turning like this. This one is turning. As it's turning, it will drop. So there's a way. Let's assume it's empty. The effluent is entering here. That's what you have here. This is what is taking place here. That's got a sketch of trickling filter. This is accomplished by exposing the liquid to a massive culture of microorganisms in an aerobic environment. I want to underline that word, aerobic environment. So secondary treatment is aerobic. Is that taken? Secondary treatment is aerobic. Aerobic environment provided by a trickling filter, intermittent sand filter, or activated sludge process. These facilities are regarded as biological reactors or biofilters. These facilities are regarded as biological treatment or bioreactors. Please open that. No, just put the stone at the back. Don't want that noise. Close it and put the stone at the back. The trickling filter consists of a bed of crushed stones. And gravels The trickling filter consists of a bed of crushed stones and gravels, which drains at the bottom. The trickling filter consists of a bed of crushed stones and gravels, which drains at the bottom. The liquid sewage is sprayed over the surface of the bed. The liquid sewage is sprayed over the surface of the bed. By a rotating arm or through nozzles. By a rotating arm or through nozzles. By a rotating arm or through nozzles. By a rotating arm or through nozzles.
Where do you use?
This saturates the liquid with oxygen. I've explained all this before. This saturates the liquid with oxygen. Full stop. Over time, the filtering medium becomes coated. Over time, the filtering medium becomes coated by a microbial flora called zooglea film. Becomes coated by a microbial flora called zoology.
Hey.
Zooglea.
Hey.
Zoology film. Zooglea film. Not zoology, zooglea film. Which consists of bacteria, fungi, algae, and protozoans. Which consists of bacteria, fungi, algae, and protozoans. These metabolize the organic constituents of the effluent as it seeps over. These metabolize the organic constituents of the effluent as it seeps over the surfaces. As it seeps. S-E-E-P-S, as it seeps over the surfaces. The operation can be regarded as a static microbial culture. The operation can be regarded as a static microbial culture fed by a continuous supply of nutrients. A static microbial culture fed by a continuous supply of nutrients.
Fed by
a continuous supply of nutrients. We talk about this in continuous culture and batch culture. If you don't get it that time, this one now, you will not get it. So what I'm saying is that I told you the other time that the activated sludge, when the water is coming, it's the way that engineers will design it. So as the water is landing inside that activated sludge, there's a trickling filter. It will just collect it as it's coming in contact with it. It will collect it and it will trick. Instead of it to just go down, it will blast it. So as it's blasting it, it's hitting it against a particular wall. Here we call it a bed. It can be a bed of stones. This hard stone. So if you are working in that kind of environment, you can advise them to put charcoal inside the bed. Charcoal will absorb even more. Not too much. So they put some, or they don't make everything of charcoal. So its first gets aerated, then it lands on that bed of charcoal or hard stone. Then it sits and continues its journey. It passes through and continues its journey. So that process of eating that stone, there will be a layer of microorganisms. That layer is what we call the zooglea film. Over time, it will build up. it will build up. So there was a time like that when I was here on my PhD. One guy in agricultural engineering is doing a project. Every time he come and ask me to help him to get that organism. So he will bring the 25 liter, like 3 or 2 or 4. And I used to charge him 5,000 at that time. And these are organisms I'm working with. I've identified them, using them for my PhD. I just take small, we just prepare the broth in my test tube or in the McCartney bottle. And just since I brought the 25 liter, I just pour it inside and cover it. After 2 to 3 days, it has getting incubated. Come and carry your microbial broth. So I don't know, you use it for an experiment there, but I think it's similar to something like this. And at that time, when I'm broke like that, the guy will just come again. Just come, collect the money. Anytime I'm broke like this, the guy will just show up. I see this. When you're talking about the business that microbiologists can do, there are many businesses. As a lecturer at this level, you cannot be doing all those businesses, but there are some other people that are lecturers that I know that have lab in the town or elsewhere. So the laboratory things you can't do here, you can go and do it in their lab. And people come from Ahikma, from Parapoli, from different schools, from PASU. They work in their labs. So there are many things that happen. So here are we. The microbial population is not. The microbial population is not exclusively aerobic. The microbial population is not exclusively aerobic, as there are both facultative and anaerobic organisms present. As there are both facultative and anaerobic organisms present. As there are both facultative and anaerobic organisms present. Those that form the first layer of the stone which are later on covered by aerobic species. Those that form the first layer of the stone, which are later covered by aerobic species. Which are later covered by aerobic species. So we are in 400 level, so you can't be beating about the bush as far as microbiology is concerned. Now what we're saying is that this secondary treatment is what? Aerobic. But we are also saying that it's not totally aerobic, that there's an anaerobic component. And they now explain that the first layer of the stone are aerobic. But later on, because we say there's a nuclear fin. So there's the first layer, second layer, third layer. So all these layers, they have covered all these layers. So where we also read them. So the inner layer, that's the first organism, the first layer, initial layer, that are not covered by other layers, will not get oxygen. They will not get oxygen because they will be covered by different layers. So the first layers will be anaerobic or facultative. You get it now? You get it? You get that?
Yes, sir.
So that's another good question. That which component of the activated sludge is anaerobic? Then you now be looking, you say activated solid aerobic. Now again, say which aspect is anaerobic? That is the kind of question I like. Question that are not straightforward. If it's straightforward, then every Tom, Dick, and Harry is going to be passing the course. Don't worry, the question will not be difficult. If me I said direct question, other people will say direct question, so don't be afraid. Is that okay? Don't be afraid. Now let's go on. Sludge digestion. Sludge digestion. Sludge digestion is tertiary treatment. You understand? So it's not everything that will not be say, primary, secondary, tertiary. You should be able to know that sludge digestion is tertiary. If in this case we didn't put it, so that is tertiary treatment. What the time? Yeah? The sludge that accumulates during sedimentation, may undergo sedimentation in the same tank. The sludge that accumulates during sedimentation may undergo sedimentation in the same tank or piped out into a clean sedimentation tank. Or piped out into a clean sedimentation tank. Let's digest that. Let's read that and digest it. Now look at this. In this case, what's happening here? Which of the two is happening here? Is this piped out or is taking place in the same tank?
Which one?
The same tank. Okoro, is it piped out or taking place in the same tank?
The same tank.
Abdurrahman.
Is it that too?
Abdurrahman, where are you? I saw you when you came in.
Okay.
Yes. I said the sludge that accumulates during sedimentation may undergo sedimentation in the same tank or piped out into a clean sedimentation tank. So in this case, is it undergoing sedimentation in the same tank or is piped out into a clean sedimentation tank?
Same. It's piped out into a place.
Audrey, you want to answer the question? Yeah.
Repeat that last one.
Is it the sedimentation taking place in the same tank or is piped out?
Same tank.
It's piped out. Yeah, you've not said anything, yes. Piped out. Yellow. Is it piped out or taking place in the same tank? Yellow, that's don't cover her now. Let's yes. What? You have no idea. Blue gown. Madam, blue gown. Blue gown. Are you wearing gown? What is happening here? The sludge that accumulates during sedimentation may undergo sedimentation in the same tank or piped out into a clean sedimentation tank. What is happening here? Is it piped out or is taking place in the same tank? You don't know. You have no idea. What did we say? Come and show us where it's coming from, where it's piped to. You too. Come and explain to them so that this you are giving them to show them now. So show them it's coming from here.
This one is like that. This one is made.
It's coming from the secondary segmentation.
We are
two segmentation processes took place, the primary segmentation and the secondary segmentation. So this is a different tank and this is a different tank. So the two segments were piped into another tank for cleaning.
clap for him, please. So the sludge that accumulates during sedimentation may undergo sedimentation in the same tank or piped out into a clean sedimentation tank. Anaerobic conditions prevail in the tank. Anaerobic conditions prevail in this tank. Microorganisms bring about a decrease in organic constituents of the sludge. microorganisms bring about a decrease in organic constituents of the sludge. Microorganisms bring about a decrease in organic constituents of the sludge. By degrading them to soluble substances and gaseous products. By degrading them to soluble substances and gaseous products. In doing this, fresh sludge entering the tank is normally inoculated or seeded. In doing this, fresh sludge entering the tank is normally inoculated or seeded with a portion of ripe sludge. With a portion of ripe sludge. With a portion of ripe, R-I-P-E, like ripe orange or ripe mango. With a portion of ripe sludge. Final treatment is accomplished by disposing the sludge after the last stage in several ways. Final treatment is accomplished by disposing the sludge after the last stage in several ways, including water. So you dispose. Water is usually the most receiving, including water, land, or incineration.
Including
Full stop. The dried sludge may be used as fertilizers. I'm not starting. The dried sludge may be used as fertilizers. Now let's go to the last part. Microorganisms and sewage treatment operations. Heading. Microorganisms and sewage treatment operations.
sewage treatment.
Before I go to that, I want to be fast, but I really like to explain. I said that the sludge, the tank is seeded. Is seeded or inoculated with ripe sludge. How is that done? From this tank, when you remove the sludge for disposal, you see everything that you remove from there? No. You will not, this sewage, man, you don't want to clean it with water now. You get it? So, once you remove the sludge, some will still remain, and the organism will be there too. So that now is what you use for seeding. So now as this one is coming, they are meeting some of this old one. So the organisms that have taken part in this process still remain in this place. This one have removed this before this and this comes. Some of the old organisms still remain. Just like in this course now, we have some people carry over. Understand? So people will carry this course now. Next year, they will still remain. It's not that we now go and bring them from Aikma and come and put them in foreign level class as seeding. No. There are people that have already undergone the process. Not all of them will move to the next phase. Some will still remain. But the problem is that those who are carried over now will not come to class. Take. People are looking at you. So those who have carried over now, they will not come to class. So that you can learn some things from them. But don't worry, during tests and exam, you'll see all of them. Let's go on now. Microorganism and sewage treatment operation. The efficacy of treatment processes is almost entirely dependent. The efficacy of treatment processes is almost entirely dependent on microbial growth and metabolism. The efficacy of treatment processes is almost entirely dependent on microbial growth and metabolism. You understand? Their chemical activities are responsible. Their chemical activities are responsible for stabilization of final effluent. Their chemical activities are responsible for stabilization of final effluent. The same, full stop, the same is true of liquefaction. The same is true of liquefaction. 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 The same is true of liquefaction. Gasification and mineralization of the content of the sludge. The same is true of liquefaction, gasification, and mineralization of the content of the sludge. Microbial degradation of the organic components is represented as follows under aerobic conditions. Microbial degradation of the organic components is represented as follows under aerobic conditions. So I'm going to call the conditions for you now. On a line, it's an equation. Settle sewage plus O2. Settle sewage plus O2. Product sign. You still remember chemistry? You still remember? Not is equal to. Product sign. I take it again. Settle sewage plus O2. Then product sign. Oxidized effluent product plus new bacterial cells. Oxidized effluent plus new bacterial cells. Settle sewage plus O2. Product sign. Oxidized effluent plus new bacterial cells. What to do on top of the arrow? What to do on top of the arrow?
Oxidation.
Eh? Bacteria. Bacteria. The next one. The next equation. CH. CH. Product sign. Alcohols, comma, fatty acids. Another product sign. CO2 plus water. What will be on top of the arrow? On top of the product sign? Bacteria.
The first one.
Is it the first?
First and second now. Is it, we have already explained that microorganisms and sewage treatment operations. And I said everything that is taking place, the major thing taking place is done by bacteria. Now, you are doing the equation, you're asking if is it chlorine that you want to put in? The third equation, fats. Product sign. Alcohols, lower fat is equal to CO2 plus water. On the first product sign, that's where you put bacteria in each case. On the first product sign.
Lower fat.
Another equation, proteins plus CO. Proteins plus CO, product sign with bacteria on top of the product sign. Amino acids, product, comma, amino acid, under amino acid, NH3 to nitrite to nitrates. NH3, that's ammonia to nitrites to nitrates. That products from ammonia to nitrite, then to nitrate, product signs. Then under that again, under the product sign, that's proteins plus CO2, just once. Under amino acid, NH3. Under that NH3, now you have H2S.
So please write it. What I understand.
Are you sure you did chemistry in secondary C?
Yes, read. did, but we don't understand.
I said proteins plus CO.
See,
Let's take it again. Proteins plus CO. Product sign. On top of it is bacteria. Bacteria is everything is taking place. I've already said that in the notes, that everything in stabilization is done by microorganisms. So we're just using equation to show. So on top of the product sign, it's showing that proteins plus CO, bacteria must be present there. The CO is like the organic matter that you want to decompose. Sorry, the proteins now. Now, amino acid is the first product. Under amino acid is continuous. Instead of right continue like that. Under it, below amino acid, don't go back to the substrate. You see remain on the product side. But under amino acid, you have NH3 going to nitrite, then to nitrate. Under NH3, H2S
okay.
going to H2SO4. Then under H2S, alcohols. Under alcohols, organic acid. Or under alcohols, organic acid. You pack the two together, both alcohol and organic acid. It now gives you what? CO2 plus water. Are you sure you are a scientist? You're not just microbiologists, you're biologists, and then you are scientists. You get it now? You're not just microbiology, you're not just food, you're not just water microbiologists. You are microbiologists, then you are biologists, then you are scientists. Now, let's take the last point here. The ultimate aim of sewage treatment. The ultimate aim of sewage treatment is mineralization of organic waste into CO2 and water. The ultimate aim of sewage treatment. The ultimate aim of sewage treatment is mineralization of organic waste into CO2 and water. Subheading: sewage oxidation ponds. Sewage oxidation ponds.
Waste.
Or aerobic.
Or aerobic lagoons.
Sewage oxidation ponds or aerobic lagoons. Sewage oxidation ponds or aerobic lagoons. This facility presents the advantage. This facility presents the advantage that little equipment is needed. And large volume of sewage can be treated. Little equipment is needed and large volume of sewage can be treated. The ponds usually consist of well-sealed shallow holes in the ground. The pond usually consists of well-sealed shallow holes in the ground, which are used for storage. Well-sealed shallow holes in the ground, which are used for storage. Equalization. Evaporation and sedimentation of sewage. Used for storage, equalization, evaporation and sedimentation of sewage. It is commonly used in small communities like the campus. It is commonly used in small communities like the campus. Wind and heat are the major factors that ensure thorough and uniform distribution. Wind and heat are the major factors that ensure thorough and uniform distribution of BOD, algae, and oxygen.
That was the
Wind and heat are the major factors that ensure thorough and uniform distribution in bracket vertical of BOD, algae, and oxygen. Algal photosynthesis favor aerobic removal of BOD during the day. Algal photosynthesis favor aerobic removal of BOD during the day by providing oxygen and metabolism. Just continue from where you get it, please. By providing oxygen and metabolism. But may inhibit nighttime removal by controlling oxygen through respiration. But may inhibit nighttime removal by controlling oxygen through respiration. If anyone you don't get, just your friend will get it, and get it later. Through respiration. Over time, the algal population may require removal. Over time, the algal population may require removal by which may be achieved by harvesting. Microscreening, alum treatment, and Q-sulfur application. You know Q-sulfur? Do you know Q-sulfur? You don't know Q-sulfur? Are you sure you did chemistry? Are you sure? And Q-sulfur application. Fungi do not play a significant role in lowering BOD. Fungi do not play a significant role in lowering BOD. Although yeast can be active. The ponds may be single. The ponds may be single, double, or even in multiples. The ponds may be single, double, or even in multiples, depending on the treatment required. Depending on the treatment required. Depending on the treatment required. This facility is recommended for small communities in rural areas. This facility is recommended for small communities in rural areas. Full stop. Retention time varies. Retention time varies. But a period of 20 days is commonly used. Retention time varies, but a period of 20 days is commonly used. And the ponds are usually not more than 5 feet deep. And the ponds are usually not more than 5 feet deep. There are many things that I do in Sokoto. You all think that how do you know it? How do you know it? By studying and by observation. All these things I'm saying now. You take them forward, you find yourself in the places where you teach them all these things. It's not the one thing that is sure it's not quite good. Let's take it seriously. Retention time varies, but a period of 20 days is commonly used, and the ponds are usually not more than 5 feet deep. Full stop. 75 to 95% BOD reduction is achieved. 75 to 95% BOD reduction is achieved, and about 99% coliform reduction, and about 99% coliform reduction. To stop, if efficiency is maintained, the treated sewage can be converted for fishing. If efficiency is maintained, the treated sewage can be converted for fishing. Swimming and bathing and farming, sorry. Swimming and farming. Anaerobic treatment now. Anaerobic treatment. Anaerobic treatment. Anaerobic treatment. This can take place in enclosed tank. Anaerobic treatment. This can take place in enclosed tank, e.g. common septic tank. This can take place in enclosed tank, e.g. common septic tank, common septic tanks. For individual households, or as a community facility of about 300, as a community facility of about 300. Both raw sewage and settled sewage can be treated.
So,
Both raw sewage and settled sewage can be treated. Both raw sewage and settled sewage can be treated. You can see. But the procedure is often used to lower the BOD of spent activated sludge. But the procedure is often used to lower the BOD of spent activated sludge. Spent. Spent activated sludge. So it has passed through the activated sludge. It's come here. So it's used to treat this. It can be used to treat this everything before. It's usually used here.
yes.
And it's because the sewage has very high BOD. So after the primary and secondary treatment, you take it and bring it here. Because in a normal case, after sewage treatment, you test, before sewage treatment, you test for BOD. Before sewage treatment, you should test for BOD. After sewage treatment, you test for BOD. If before sewage treatment, you test for BOD is high. After treatment, it's still high. What are you going to do? Class rep. Before sewage treatment, you tested the BOD, it was high. Stand up now. Assistant class rep, stand up too so I can, as he's giving us one, you give us the second one. Where is the president too? President. Stand up now. Before sewage treatment, we check for BOD. After sewage treatment, we check for BOD. We get it now. Now, before the treatment, we checked, it was high. After treatment, we still checked, it was high. So what do we do? So what do we do with the sewage? Before treatment, we checked it, it was high. So we treated it. After treating it, it was still high. The BOD was still high. So what do we do? What? What do we do? We throw it away. We inform the VC. We inform the government. What do we do? What is the president saying? What the president and the class said, they are dead to are you sure the president So what do you do? Vice President, start last first. Who wants to answer the question? What do you do? What? Yes, that means the treatment is not sufficient. That means the treatment is not sufficient, so you treat it again. Or are you going to just dispose it? The BOD is still high. So the aim of sewage treatment is to reduce the BOD. Now you did the treatment, the BOD is still high. So you go again into the treatment. Yeah, wait. Both raw sewage or settled sewage, please, can be treated. Please, pay attention. Both raw sewage and settled sewage can be treated, but the procedure is often used to lower the BOD of spent activated sludge. So the activated lagoon I spoke about the other time, or the sewage oscillation pond, you should draw it and read more about it. Then twin compartment septic tank. Twin compartment septic tank, you draw it and read more about it.
What is
Screening.
So class rep, conduct the assignments. Then next week, somebody else will continue with the class.